Hello, and thank you for joining us at Gable Bookending Your Services, Client Consultation, and Home Care. My name is Kelly Diaz, and here with me presenting today's webinar is Hope Goldman. She will be introducing herself in a minute. Before we get started, I wanted to go over a few housekeeping items. This webinar will be recorded and will be available 24 hours following the webinar. We will send out the recording link via email. This console has a few different sections on the right side of your screen. Please check out and download the slide presentation for today's webinar. There you can also find a special coupon you can use on your next professional order and the Q&A section. We want you to participate during the webinar, so please use it. We'll get as many questions as we can at the end of the webinar, or contact us at kelly.diaz@GableFoodCare. Follow us on our social media at GableFoodCare or directly to Hope's social media channels and website at Health to Beauty Nails. Okay, so without further ado, I leave you with Hope. Hi, Hope. Thank you for doing this presentation today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Hope Goldman. I am a nail professional based in Spokane, Washington. I've been working with Gable products since the beginning of my career, really. So I'm really excited to talk to you about them all today. And we will kind of do about half and half. So the first half of this hour, we'll talk about the consultation service and what I think is important to think about and talk about with your client in that. And then the last half will be talking about home care recommendations and products, addressing specific issues. If you have questions, please shout them out during the webinar. I will be kind of going back and forth and trying to check in really regularly so that we can keep up on the conversation. But I'm also going to try to leave some time at the end as well for a Q&A session. So just keep it coming, say hello, let's be active in the chat. I really want to have a conversation with you directly. So here we go. All right, so I'm sure many of you are familiar with the 3 R's, but if you're not, recognize, recommend, and refer. As we are at the first point of contact service, or first point of contact in our service as the consultation form, we want to start recognizing. So obviously ongoing education is going to help us to recognize if there are irregularities or anything that is maybe a little suspicious. And the consultation form is really the first place where we can start to recognize things. We want to recommend. So this is where we educate the client on the range of services we provide, recommend an overall plan of action that we want to work on with our client and what we think is going to be best for them. And this would also include home care products. And lastly, we want to refer. Obviously, as nail professionals, we cannot diagnose, but if we see something that is out of our scope or we see something that is a little suspicious, we want to be able to refer them out to a medical professional. So the importance of our consultation form. Again, this is the first point of contact for our service. So this is really where I think the service starts to begin. And it's part of how we can wow the client and set ourselves apart from the salon down the street. You know, how many people in our area do we know that are really doing any type of consultation, let alone a more thorough consultation? So this is how we start to show that we are giving an elevated experience and that we take the client and their health seriously. It's also a place where we can gather our information. So we have everything in one place and it's not kind of all over the place. It helps us to understand their goals. What results are they seeking? Why did they decide to book with you? They might have a specific reason and something that they want to address. It's also how we can protect ourselves. So we can ensure that they've read our policies, they know our cancellation policy, any other specific things that they need to know ahead of time. And also that we are putting language in there so that they won't hold us liable for possible complications. Even as safe as we are, things can happen. And lastly, it helps us to appropriately prepare. So if they have health issues, if they have specific challenges that they're working on, or if they have allergies to ingredients in cosmetic products, these are all things that are helpful to know so that we can better prepare our tools and products accordingly. So really, the form is a tool in helping us determine the ways that we can best serve our clients. Great. So prior to the first appointment is when we can send them a digital form. So right after the client books, I recommend emailing them a form, or you can even text them a link if that's easy for you as well. So I send them a link to mine, which takes them to a Google form on my website. And this saves me time during the service. Again, it helps me better prepare so that I can have everything laid out in terms of tools and products to use prior to my service. And it keeps me from having to have a ton of extra hard copies and an extra clipboard and a pen to clean in between services. Additionally, I keep all my client notes digitally, so this keeps me from having to manually transcribe them later, so it saves me time after service as well. Obviously, if they don't fill it out ahead of time, just have some hard copies available, and then they can just fill it out as soon as they get there before you start the service, and you can have the conversation then. These are all the sections that we will go into a little bit deeper. So medical conditions, relevant medications that they might be taking, sensitivities or allergies, their expectations, as well as liability. So in the very first part of the form is where we can start to gather our client information. So anything that's general kind of contact information, their name, their phone number, their email address. I also like to get their home address because I think it's nice if you want to mail them anything. I like to send a personal handwritten thank you card after a new client has come to see me for the first time as just a nice personal touch. If you have, coupons or anything like that you want to send them in the mail, it's nice to have that information. That you can get their birthday if you want to send out birthday gifts or cards or promotions for their birthday month. That's a nice thing to do as well. And then I also like to ask how they discovered you. So this is super helpful to get a clearer picture of where you're acquiring your clients. So it's fun to know those things. I will offer on my form, if you do have a digital one, you can create certain questions that are required and ones that are optional. So on my form, I have their name, their phone number, and their email address as required entries, because I definitely need to know their name and have their contact information. But obviously, if they don't want to give their home address or their birthday, it's totally fine. They don't have to. All right. So obviously, in my opinion, this is one of the most important parts of the consultation form. So we really want to get an idea of our client's health and if they are working with some specific issue that we need to know about. So diabetes, if they have neuropathy, if they have had or currently have cancer, if they're arthritic, pregnant, if they're taking any relevant medications such as blood thinners, if they have hemophilia, psoriasis, if they've had leg or foot surgeries that might have ongoing complications, how recent that surgery was might also be a factor. Edema, if they have COVID-19 symptoms, hopefully they are self-screening themselves, but again, you want to get an idea for this prior to the service. If they have circulatory problems, hypo or hyperthyroidism, if they are nail biters, or if they have mobility challenges. So obviously, if a client is struggling with a serious health issue, we want to take the precautions that we need to in being extra gentle. We might decide to use different tools. You might decide not to soak them if you do water pedicures and they're diabetic, or you might need to change the temperature of the water. You might need to use a different product on them, specifically a diabetic safe product or something that's going to be a little gentler, or you might need to change the pressure of your massage depending on what's going on. You know, if you have a pregnant client, they might have some new circulation issues. So in your massage, you might choose to focus more on the feet specifically, because blood clots can develop in the legs during pregnancy as well. So you don't want to disturb anything there. And you would probably want to focus on effleurage in your massage rather than specific pinpointed pressure. If you find out that they have mobility challenges, you might need to work with them on figuring out how to get them in and out of your chair comfortably. You might have to shift something about your station in general to make them more comfortable. It might also suggest that they're not able to personally care for their feet. So it might suggest that there's a little bit more work for you to do in the service as well. So this is how we're starting to get a picture of how we can best serve our client and kind of customize our service to their needs. Then we can start to get into specific foot and nail challenges. So if they have excessive callus, cracked heels, corns, peeling skin, dry or rough skin, ingrown nails, damaged nails, discolored nails, hot or cold feet, sweaty feet. Again, just giving us more insight into what, if anything, they might be struggling with. Giving us even more information about how to prepare. So if you're working with someone who lets you know that they have extra callus and that's really what they want to address in service, you might choose to use a coarser grit exfoliation tool or a softening agent to help you with that, unless you also know that they're struggling with a health issue. So again, it's giving us that picture so that we can figure out the best way to address those issues. It's giving us the information about the kinds of products we might need to use. So again, if you need to use a softening agent, or maybe if they have cold feet, you decide to use a more warming type product in service. If you see that they have health issues and then they're also struggling with something like ingrown nails or damaged and discolored nails, this might be the first part where the first point of contact where we're, again, beginning to recognize that maybe there's something a little more serious going on, and you might want to pick up the phone and give them a call to get, again, a much clearer picture of what's going on. If they have a true ingrown nail where the nail is growing into the skin, that's going to be out of our scope of practice. So if we see this in the form before they even come in for the service, we can give them a call, say, hey, I saw that you're dealing with ingrown nails. I just want to know what's going on. Maybe they can send you some pictures. And you can figure out, well, you know, at this time, it might not be best for me to service you, but I can refer you to a specialist instead. Allergies and expectations. So you definitely want to find out if they have any allergies to ingredients in cosmetic products. So specifically, essential oils, avocado oil, nuts, those are some things to specifically ask for. I have a client now who, before the first time she came to see me, filled out on her form that she had an evergreen allergy, which is vital for me to know, because as I'm working with Gilwa products, there are several products in the line that have pine and rosemary and lavender, and all of those products, or all of those ingredients, are big no-nos for her. So again, that helped me to better prepare so that I didn't even have those out, so that I wouldn't even reach for them accidentally. I could have products that were going to be appropriate for her in the service. And her husband comes to see me too, so I don't even risk it, and I use products that are going to be safe for her on him as well. You want to ask what kind of results that they're seeking. So the client is choosing to come to us, and of course we want to work with them so that they can be happy and leave feeling good about the results that they're going to be having, as well as having after just one visit. This information helps us gather the information we're gathering is helping us figure out how to give them those results. And it's also our responsibility to educate the client that these results may take time. If they have a more severe issue like cracked heels, it might take regularly scheduled ongoing services combined with regular home care to really get to the point where we're healing those cracks. It also might need to include a medical professional, or maybe it already is including a medical professional and you are part of a more well-rounded approach to their needs. And then I think it's also nice just to ask if there's any additional information they may provide to give you more context for the service. Just in the event that they weren't able to share everything that they want you to know, that is a good thing to have there. And then lastly, protecting yourself, policies and liability. So policies, this would include your cancellation policy, any general salon policies, your late or tardy policy, any COVID policies that you have right now, anything that they may need to know ahead of time. This is a great place to put it, and they can acknowledge that they have read it and accept the policies, and then that way you're good to go. If they ever have a cancellation in the future, that you know that they have acknowledged that they have read the policies and know them ahead of time. And you know, as careful as we are, accidents can still happen. So you want to have it in writing that the client will not hold you liable if something does happen. And I think your insurance is a great place to look for that verbiage, just to make sure that everything is legit. I'm a member of Associated Nail Professionals, and they have some great templates and language that you can source from them, so that you know that you're appropriately protecting yourself. Great, so that's everything prior to the first appointment. Do we have any questions at this time? I'm going to check the chat. Great, all right. So then once we get into the appointment, we hopefully have gathered all that information prior. And so then at the first appointment, we can then start to visually recognize once we have read and prior to the appointment, we've read the form and we have a first kind of recognition. Now we have a visual recognition and we can talk more directly with the client. So we want to recognize, go over the form with our client, confirm what you've read with that, confirm what you have read with them, ask any additional questions about what they filled out, and then just be quiet and listen. We don't need to talk and talk and talk at the beginning. I think asking questions and letting them just kind of share whatever's going on with them is a great way to go. Check the areas of concern that they have pointed out, and then notice any irregularities that they may not have pointed out. They might not know if they have a mole or a spot on the bottom of their foot. Also, there may be a chance that they said, none of this is applicable to me, and then they come in and you're seeing that they might have something a little irregular going on. So that's where you want to have a conversation with them as well. We want to recommend an overall foot care plan. So what that means for their ongoing appointment schedule, as well as home care and how what they are responsible for in between their services. And then again, of course, just referring if necessary, if you see anything suspect or irregular that you want them to get checked out. So at this point, I have two forms that I want to show you. So I'm going to stop this slideshow for a moment. Great. So this is the Get-Well form that we've been working on together. And so this is an option of, and this is also in the Files tab of this software. So you can download this specifically if you want to use it yourself or use it as a template for something that you are working on. So in the beginning here, we have all this client information that we spoke about. Oh, I'm realizing that we did not put in the how'd you find us, but this is a place where you could put it in. How did you discover the business? And then advising us about any of the following health conditions that they have that might be necessary for us to know prior to the treatment that they're receiving. Again, all the health issues as well as relevant medications, hot, cold feet, if they have bitten nails, etc. And then down here, getting into more specifically if they have any specific foot or hand issues, they can select specifically right foot, left foot, right hands, left hands. Again, allergies. What are the cosmetic benefits that you would like to see? Any additional information? And this is where you can have your policies and your waiver information. And then of course their signing and dating at the bottom. So again, this form is in the Files tab of this software if you want to check that out. And then I will share with you my form that I currently am using on my website. And I have mine through Google Forms, which I find to be really easy to use and free for us to use. So let's see. Great. So on this first page here, again, just general contact information. You can see the questions with an asterisk are required, and they have to fill those out before they can go to the next page. So for the sake of this demo, will just pop in my information really quick. And 1, 2, 3. Little fake phone number for you. And then we can go next. And again, really easy just to check anything that they might be dealing with. There's also a place where they can say none of the above, or if there's nothing specifically here, but that they want to let me know, they can tell me here. Again, this is a required question that they have to fill out. Known allergies, again, required question, what kind of results? The rest, these two are optional if they don't have anything that they need to say. I can link them specifically to my policies, but I am requiring them to check that they have read and accept my policies. That way, again, like I said, if they no call, no show, or there's some issue in the future, I know that they have acknowledged and read my policies. And then they are also understanding that they are accepting responsibility for choosing to come and see me, and that there might be complications, but hopefully not. And then, of course, just signing at the bottom. And then once they submit that, it goes directly into a Google Excel spreadsheet for me. So that way I have all of my client information right in that Google spreadsheet, and it's super easy for me to access in the future. Cool. Folks are quiet in the chat. Any questions at this point? How we doing out there? Start. Great. Okay. Yes, we spoke about this. Okay, so once we're starting to recommend our home care plan and products that go along with that, we want to raise awareness, let them know what you're seeing, point out anything that they may not be aware of. Again, it can be hard to see our own feet. Some people might have mobility challenges. You might not know that you have a mole down there. So just let them know, especially if you're seeing anything irregular. Let them know that to fully get the best results, home maintenance is going to be a critical component of that. We can only do so much in one service, but with daily maintenance, they can really optimize the health of their feet and also the results that they are seeking. Listen, so I think some good questions to ask are, what does your current home care look like? How do they take care of their feet at home? If they're doing nothing, what would the optimal routine be that you can give them? Like the full shebang, everything that they could do to like really optimize what's happening. And that is an option, as well as what is a good starting point. If they're doing nothing, maybe it's better to start with one thing. Do they seem like the type that they're just going to dive headfirst in, do it all to start, or do they need to start with one change so that they don't get overwhelmed? What is their current routine? Do they have, a general nighttime routine that they do every night that we can fit foot care into that? Do they leave their products by their bed because they do it right before bed? Do they shower in the morning? Do they shower at night? These are all things that you can start to get a feel for the ways that, adding foot care or hand care or nail care into their personal routine, you can start working with them on that. What is working or not working about their current products? So do they like the texture? Do they like the scent, the moisture level that they're getting, how fast it's absorbing? Again, you're getting the information of what kind of products they like to use. Do they need it to be an experience with a scent? I will offer, I used to have a client who was using Gewal's Blue, which has a pine, rosemary, lavender kind of scent. And she came to me one time and she's like, I have to get another tube before I run out because I can't sleep without it now. She was using it every night and it was just part of her routine. And the scent gave her the trigger that it was nighttime, ready to sleep. So she was always putting that into her routine and couldn't be without it. And we want to meet them where they're at. What condition are their feet in? Do they need a lot of help? Do they need just some regular general maintenance? If someone has cracked heels, you want to suggest a more frequent service schedule to begin with in combination with specific home care products versus someone with mostly healthy feet who can potentially go longer in between services and just need some general moisture at home. We want to educate them on how to use the products or products that you're recommending. So how much do you use? For me, I have little tiny baby feet. So I use literally a pea size of cream for both feet. You don't need a lot. If they're worried about a greasy feeling, you can let them know just to start with a little less because you can always add more. Or you can also recommend a product to them that is maybe a foam-based product rather than a lotion so that they don't have that kind of greasy feeling that some people prefer not to have. You can let them know that ideally the cream should penetrate in 5 minutes or less. So if it feels too lotiony for too long, just use a little less next time. You want to tell them about how often to use the products and how often to come in for an appointment. Expectations of how long it may take to start seeing results. Do they need tips to get them in the habit of using the products? So if people are just starting to kind of get into home care for the first time in regards to their feet, I let them know I have my cream right outside my shower so that when I step out, I see it. I can pop it on real quick and then go about the rest of my team. Otherwise, for me, it's out of sight, out of mind. I have to have mine out so that I'm more likely to use it. If they're using a body lotion, maybe they can put their foot lotion right next to that bottle to be part of that whole routine. If they are using a foot file at home, a manual foot file at home, what are best uses for that? I tell them to start using filing their feet about once a week, dry skin, 30 seconds a foot, just so that they don't go overboard and filing and filing and filing. It doesn't need a lot. So we really want to educate them so that they have the full knowledge they need to use these products safely and responsibly and to continue to get the results that they're seeking at home. Retail visibility. So in addition to having an inviting retail display, I would suggest having the products nearby while you're working on them in service. So you can talk to the client about the product that you're recommending to them, and you can even hand it to them. I realize right now in COVID times, maybe that doesn't make sense, but when a client holds and touches the product, they're more likely to take an ownership of it and kind of see it as theirs. So I will hand it to them, and then I don't take it back from them unless they really go to hand it back to me. I also have a table right next to my client to put personal items on. So if they want to hand it back to me, I just say, oh, you can pop it on the table next to you as though it's already there. So I'm not taking it back. And we want to incentivize. And I think that the real way that we can do that is by building trust and connection and relationship with our clients. So we're presenting them with information about what we're seeing, what we're doing during the service. We're both showing and telling them how what we're doing is different than the salon down the street by literally doing the service and verbally explaining. That's showing them our expertise and that we want to work with them and not just on them. we're educating them, we're building the relationship. All of this makes them more likely to trust our expertise and recommendations. So yes, of course, selling product is a nice bonus for our paycheck, but when you believe in the products you carry and you genuinely want what is best for your client and you're really trying to increase the impact of your services, product is really easy to sell because the passion carries through in the conversations and in the relationship and how we're connecting with our client. Another way we can incentivize is by giving them samples. Gelwall is so generous as to send samples with our orders, which is an excellent, awesome tool to utilize. They look like this in a little packet just like this. These are also great to travel with. So I give every new client, I should say, a little goodie bag with a handful of samples and a couple little travel files that they can throw in a bag to have with them on the go. This is a really nice way to just welcome the client and allows them to try out a few different products from the line to see what they most enjoy. You can even personalize a bag like this based on the information that you're getting from them. I tend to put, my top sellers in this. And another way to use your samples, if someone feels a little hesitant to purchase a full-size product today, you can say, well, if you purchase a full-size product, I'll throw in a sample of that product for you to try first. That way you're giving them a bit of a guarantee that they'll like it. But also if there's a chance, if it happens that they try the product and they do end up hating it, they can return the product unopened to you and they have just tried that sample. But it's a nice way to say, hey, with this purchase today, you get a little extra bonus so that you're increasing their value as well there. You could also do some sort of buyback program. So if they're really hesitant to switch from whatever they're using, or they say, oh, I still got half a bottle of gold bonds at home, you could just have them bring it into their next appointment for $10 off one of your products. Or you could even do a full trade. We know the quality of what we're using. Professional products are going to be excellent, high quality. And so we stand by that. And really the goal here is to get our client on the Gelwall train because the difference is really clear. And it's not just something random that they're trying out from the drugstore. We stand behind it and we know the quality and results that it will offer. So I think it's a small investment on our part to do some sort of exchange in that way to make sure that they're getting on that professional line. Great. So any questions? At this point, we're going to start moving into the home care recommendations. Go ahead and shout out any questions you might have. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. All right. People seem good to go here, so we'll just keep on chugging along. Great. So we're going to talk about, some general issues or challenges we may see in service and not the best, but some of the Gelwall products that are good to address that issue specifically. So general dry skin. This is a thing that we see often in the wintertime, also if you're living in a dry climate. So one of the things that we can recommend is a at-home foot file. This is the Simone Keller wooden foot file. This is Swiss-made. Gelwall is the exclusive distributor of this in the States. This is an excellent, excellent home care product. Again, I will say I will recommend my clients to use this on dry skin prior to a shower. About 30 seconds a foot. It's all you really need for just some general exfoliation. And take a shower, and then afterwards you want to really follow up with the moisture afterwards. Then you can clean it with a nail brush and soap and water. Good to go for next time. I've had this for 4 years. It is excellent, super high quality. It's still as good as new. We can also recommend the soft feet peeling scrub. That is this guy, if we can see. This one is a really excellent at-home scrub. I tell folks to use this in the shower. You can also use this in service as part of your spa pedicure. At home, just use it in the shower. You can put it all over the foot, rinse it off, get some nice exfoliation. And you can use that multiple times a week. It's excellent. It has jojoba wax in it, as well as sugar crystals and bamboo. It's lovely, lovely. You can also use that as a body scrub. It's really nice. The Soft Feet Cream, I don't have that one here, but that's a really excellent one. It has urea and hyaluron in it, as well as a warm scent. So if someone prefers a scented product, that's a nice one to try. The Soft Feet Butter. This is the limited edition scent, but there is also a pomegranate scent. That one is this is a shea butter based product. It's excellent for feet as well as body. Has a thicker texture, so if someone kind of wants to use this as a mask before bed, this is a good one for that. The Express Foam, which I love, it also has urea in it as well as primrose oil, I want to say. But that's a really nice one, super hydrating. And if someone doesn't want to have that lotion type feel on their feet, the foam is a great one to use. If you also like, I will also suggest foams for my lazier clients who can't be bothered to take the extra 10 seconds to rub their feet. I've literally told people you can just spray this on your bathroom towel outside your shower and step into it. And I've had clients that actually do that just because it's the best way, best and easiest way for them. Lipidro, that's this one here. This is one of my top favorite products in the line. I love this. This has urea as well as avocado oil. It has a bit of a creamier texture. This is ultra, ultra hydrating, really excellent. And then blue, that's this guy here. This is one of the ones that has the essential oils, rosemary, pine, lavender. Lovely scent. This is real. I love using this before bed as well because it has that nice aroma, kind of prepares me for sleeping time. So this is a lovely one. And lastly, Hydrolipid, which is this guy. Again, this one also has urea, also has ceramides in it, which is really great to help with the skin barrier. All of these products are going to be in my opinion, like the extra hydration products for clients that are really struggling with dry skin. Callus. So if someone has, some more specific callus on specific areas of the feet, you can recommend the callus cream. This one has a higher percentage of urea, about 18% urea. So it is a keratolytic, and over time, it will help to break down that really hardened skin. On the box, this one recommends, I believe it's to use for 28 days. And then you want to check in, see how it's going. So this is not a forever product. This is really to address extra hardened skin. You want to advise your clients to wash their hands after they use it also, because it can create some peeling on the fingers and the palms. But this is really excellent. This is really going to go a long way in helping to soften those extra hardened bits. But you only want to use a little bit, and very specifically on those hardened areas. I would not recommend to go on the whole foot, only specifically on the callus. Again, you could recommend a foot file to them to file those specific areas. You could also recommend, again, the Lipidro cream, the blue cream. Also, how are their shoes fitting? Are they on their feet a lot, and do their shoes rub in specific areas? Are the shoes fitting properly, or are they rubbing in a specific way? That's another thing that you could look at to work on with your client to see what's happening there. Cracked skin. So this is where the Gelwall Dream Team really comes into play. So I don't have the salve here with me today, but you want to start with the cracked skin salve. That is a really excellent product that has some petroleum jelly base in it, as well as some antiseptic ingredients to keep the crack clean. And it will also help to re-promote the elasticity of the feet. So that's your first starting point with the Dream Team is the cracked skin salve if they have open cracks. Once the cracks are healed and closed up a bit and they're not open wounds anymore, that's when you're going to go in with your callus cream to soften everything up and get everything back to a healthy condition. And then once that has been restored, there's not the really hardened callus, then you can go in with your Lipidro as your maintenance cream. So that's like a 3-step plan there. And again, that's where you want to work with your client and let them know, hey, this is going to take maybe a few months until we get to the point where those cracks are healed and you're starting to have really nice soft skin again. If someone has maybe just one crack on their feet and not, as you see in this picture, they're not full of cracks, you could even recommend their, again, foot file. I think this is an excellent, excellent retail product. And I would suggest to clients that, so typically I would say go with the grain of the skin. If someone has a crack, I would suggest and recommend that you file with the grain of the crack, so vertically, because if you go horizontally across, you're more likely to split open that crack again. So again, fully educating our clients on how to best use the products. Corns. So corns can obviously be really painful and sensitive for folks. Again, using the callus cream, because if they have the corns with the little seed central point, it's very hardened keratin. So using a little bit of that callus cream on there, again, going to go a long way in helping to soften that extra hardened keratin. The callus foam is not a retail product, but that is something that you could use in service to soften it and help give a little bit of a jump start to that softening over time for the client. Fluid, oh gosh, I did not pull that one out, but this is a really excellent oil product that it goes a long way in really soothing cranky bits. So ingrown nails or corns here, even if you have a bug bite, it can really go a long way in soothing that itchiness and reducing inflammation. It is an amazing, amazing product, really unique, kind of really the only one that I know like it on the market. You could also use Gewell's corn protection plasters or toe rings, which are kind of a sticker type product that will help to alleviate pressure around the corn. You could also just tell them at home, you could just to pad the area with some cotton. If they have corns inside the toes, you could use a little separator there as well, or just, you know, a cotton ball to relieve some pressure going on in there. Again, a foot file, or if they have, you know, a small corn that a foot file is a little too bulky for, they could even use a little nail file just to get in there and keep everything nice and soft. And again, the Lipidro cream, it's going to be super hydrating and keep everything nice and soft over time. The goal is really to reduce the friction and pressure and keep everything nice and soft in regards to corns. I didn't put on here, but also, you know, again, well-fitting shoes. If they have shoes that are really aggravating them and causing that friction and pressure, the corn will just continue to be there until you address the specific issue. So I would definitely encourage to check out their shoes and make sure that they're fitting properly. Blisters. So again, can be super painful. I would recommend using a product like Foot Cream, which is the original Gewell product, appropriately called Foot Cream. They also have a product called Extra. Both of these products are going to be excellent at reducing friction in shoes and sandals, whatever it is that you're wearing. So specifically with Foot Cream, you want to use it a little bit thicker. You can apply it a little bit thicker all over the foot before putting your shoes and socks on, and it will really help to reduce friction as you're walking. Same with Extra. You can also use them in more specific ways. So I have a pair of sandals that the back strap is it rubs me a little bit, but the rest of the sandal is fine. So whenever I want to wear them, I pop a little bit of Extra or Foot Cream just specifically on that spot. Good to go. I never get a blister from it anymore. Amazing. If someone is going on a vacation where they're going to be walking a lot, or you know that they're a hiker, Foot Cream or Extra, amazing. Or if they even have a job where they're on their feet all the time. Gewell also has blister plasters, which are stickers that you can use, or sticker bandages that you can use to prevent blistering, or once they have a blister, they're good ones to use because they're hydrocolloid bandages, which can help to absorb any extra moisture and help with the healing process of the blister. Cold feet. So I'm a person that constantly has cold feet. You could try the red cream or the red warming bath. So used together, that's going to really promote lots of warm feelings of the feet. The red cream has ginger and paprika, and the red warming bath has some of those ingredients as well to really promote the warming receptors of that area. It's a really nice one to use sometimes in service if your client's feet get a little cold during service. If you finish it off with your massage using the red cream, that can really help to promote the circulation, and the friction of your hands, as well as the paprika and ginger, will really help to promote that warmth again. Sweaty feet, foot odor, and athlete's foot. So if you're seeing some really intense peeling or something that you feel is a little more extreme or out of your scope, you definitely want to refer to a doctor in regards to athlete's foot. Again, of course, we cannot diagnose athlete's foot, but if you see something that is peeling or a little suspect, that might give you information that could potentially be athlete's foot. So referring to a doctor in that case is a really great way to go. You could also try the deodorant foot cream. This one has DeoZinc in it, which is an excellent actual deodorizer, will help to minimize some of that extra sweatiness. Green is a really good one too. It has the essential oils in it again. It's going to help to reduce the sweatiness and perspiration, as well as refresh everything to decrease the risk of foot odor. Extra, like I just showed you, that one also has some deodorizing ingredients as well. The foot and shoe deodorant, it's a spray product, really excellent. You can use this on your feet before putting them in shoes, as well as in the shoes itself, to keep everything nice and fresh. This is a really great one too. At the end of a service, you could just right in the shoes before they put their shoes back on. It keeps everything nice and fresh. Nice way just to top it off. You could use foot powder, which is a nice one to use, specifically if someone has maybe some tight toes and they get peeling in between the toes. You could have them use some foot powder in there to keep everything nice and dry. The protective nail and skin oil, excellent, excellent product for the nails itself. If you see any debris or anything that you suspect might be a little bit of a fungal situation, you could suggest the protective nail and skin oil. That's also a good one, again, because it has the dropper little pipette at the top. They can get that one in between the toes as well to prevent peeling or to deal with any peeling. You want to encourage them to change their socks daily. Again, I mean, I think that it seems obvious, but not necessarily everyone does it. So changing their socks daily. Have they washed their shoes recently? They could spray the shoe deodorant in there, or even, some Lysol or something, just because if they are dealing with the issue on their feet, but they're putting their feet in shoes that potentially still have those organisms in them, they're just potentially reinfecting themselves over time. And another one, they could just spray their shower after every use, again, because if we're getting in barefoot, we have those organisms on our feet. They might last in the shower. So just giving them a quick spritz after each shower can really go a long way in helping as well. Toenail sidewall irritation. So oftentimes clients will say, oh, I'm struggling with ingrown nails, but they don't have a nail that's actually growing into the skin. It might just be that they have extra buildup in the sidewall, or extra curved nails where callus is kind of building up in there. If they have a true ingrown nail, of course, that is out of our scope of practice, and they need to be referred to a doctor. But I would definitely encourage folks to use fluid. Again, that one is that soothing oil. This is my #1 product for toenail sidewall irritation. I give this to everyone that is struggling. If they tell me I have ingrown nails and I always have to cut them back, we're going to work on a better plan of action for trimming their toenails, and then they're going to use fluid at home, and it's really soothing. It has bisabolol, which is a chamomile-derived extract, and it's going to go a long way in kind of soothing that cranky area. If it's a little more intense, you could recommend the nail softener, which is a more intensely softening type product. But like the callus cream, that's not a forever product. So you want to just use that one. You could use it every other day. You could use it 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off for 28 days and then check in, but I wouldn't necessarily use it forever. Great. And then some general nail care if someone has dry and brittle nails. If they have dry, brittle nails, or you're seeing that they have some thickened and discolored nails, or you see debris under the nail plate, if they haven't been checked out by a doctor, I would definitely refer them to a doctor in that case. You could also give them the protective nail and skin oil. Again, in my opinion, this is going to be a really excellent one in potentially preventing and working with possible fungal infections. If they have healthy nails or dry nails and they just need some maintenance, the nail care oil is going to be a good one, just to give them that extra moisture to prevent peeling, chipping, that kind of thing. And I didn't put it in there, but if you're just looking for some general moisture type creams from Gilwall, I've been really enjoying the Balance Cream. It has a little bit of a different packaging than the other products, and it has a pump, which I really enjoy. So if someone wants a different packaging experience, this is a really nice one. This one has urea and it has white tea extract in it and some probiotics in it. So it really helps to promote the balance, literally the balance and natural flora and fauna of the skin. I will offer that I have feet that are more on the moist side. So I tend more, I get athlete's foot really easily. This one has been amazing for balancing that out. I haven't had any issues with athlete's foot since I started using this product. You could also use Blue. This is like my old faithful, just general go-to moisture product that is going to be great for everyone. The Soft Feet Lotion is another one for just some general moisture. That one has a light floral scent and a little bit of a lighter texture, which some people really like. You could also use the Herbal Lotion, which is a more water-based moisturizer with a spray pump. And I will also offer, like, I have some people that just like that in the summertime because their feet are hot and they just need a little refresher during the day. That's another one too. If you have a little bit of a lazier client that's not going to actually rub lotion over their feet, give them a little spritz. Easy, takes 1 second per foot, good to go. Or if someone has mobility issues, you can even spray it upside down so they can kind of lift their foot up, little and good to go. Get your moisture in there. And then lastly, if it's summertime and they're wanting a little bit, again, of a refreshing type product, you could use the mint because that has some menthol in it and it's really nice and cooling and it's going to give them that hydration as well. So I know that's a lot of information, but there's some really excellent products in the line, and it's really not a one-size-fits-all approach. So we can really customize the plan for our clients. I think that is everything. I know I just threw a lot at you. Do we have any specific questions?
There are some questions.
I am not seeing. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry. I was scrolling down instead of up. What do you do with the products the client brings in? So I think this is in regards to the buyback program. I would just toss it. I mean, you can maybe hold on to it for a week or two if your client is like, hey, I really need that back, and then you can have a conversation about it, but I would think it's garbage. Will all of this info be in one place on one line? I'm not sure what that's referring to. Can you pop in a little more context and I will scroll up to see it? I'm sorry. I was totally just like scrolling in the wrong direction during this whole presentation.
Presentation. So I actually answered that the presentation is right there in the slides tab.
Yes.
Download directly from this presentation, or you can just email me, and I'll email you back with the presentation, the professional catalog, any information that you may need.
Great. Will the red cream help with Raynaud's disease? Anything that is a more severe health issue, I would encourage you to just have the client check in with the doctor. If they purchase the product, this is a place where if they purchase the product, you could send them home with a sample and advise them to take the product with them to the doctor to see if that's an appropriate thing for them to use. But potentially, the red cream could potentially work for them. It is diabetic safe. But again, anything that's more serious, I would really have them check in with a doctor first. Any other questions before we wrap it up today about consultation form or any specific products?
It seems like it's all. And they can always contact us after the webinar directly to you or to us. The information is right there.
Absolutely.
Be more than happy to answer any question. And remember, please to follow the recommendation under the official labeling. This is only for the purpose of give you general information and insights over the products, but you should ask us, read the labeling. If you have any questions, yes, contact us. We will be happy to provide you with more information. But yes, we wanted to clarify that.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to just one more reminder. I don't know that if we talked about it at the beginning, but there is a coupon code for you under the offers tab. The code is Gelwalt Pedicure, and that will get you 15% off your order in the next 2 days. So go ahead and get those orders in so you can save a little bit of money. And I think that's all I have if there are no more questions for you.
Thank you, Hope. Excellent presentation. Everybody will value all the insight and the information that you provide them today.
I hope so. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback, everyone.
Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much. We hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.